Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's G from Happiness and Crafting. So yesterday we started on making another tool journal, nice tall slim journal. So today, for the fun and simple crafting, I thought we would make something just to go in the middle of the journal. Because it's obviously the tool journal, I'm just doing one signature in here. So I thought we'd make something really simple to go inside. Now, I made these many moons ago. I do have a video somewhere, but I thought I would show you this because it's really simple, and it's just made out of one sheet of paper. So we've got these two lovely little corner pockets. I haven't put anything on the outside. I've just sort of like paper clipped some little bits of ephemera on there from my journal cards, which I think look really lovely. And here I've just sewn around these bits and stuck a little bit of collage on there. So really simple. Now you can either have it sort of like in the middle, you can have them at the bottom, at the top. I'm going to sort of like put my, I love this flower down here, this dog rose down here. So what I want to do is probably pop this so it will catch when I sew it in from the top one and the middle one, like that. So, and we can just fold it over. So I'm loving that. So I'm going to just show you how simple it is, because making a journal and adding embellishments in there doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to make all these mad crazy sort of like foldy things and sticking and measuring. You don't have to do that. I think sometimes it's a little bit off-putting, a little bit daunting if you are new to journaling. We're going to try and make it as simple as possible. So what I've done on this, I'm just going to give you a quick flip. This one I did, I've just sewn some lovely little cheesecloth on there, and I've added this little bit at the bottom because these are just sort of like odd bits of card that I had. So I've got a piece of card which was a postcard, which I've just folded in half and slipped on to the side, and then I put two journaling cards on here and made them into little pockets. So it's really simple. I'll probably do another one of these. I just sort of like made this up as I went along yesterday after I did the video. So loving that. I've made it so it's sort of like the length of the journal. We've got a little cluster here which I'll show you how to make in a minute as well. This one we did yesterday. So all as I'm doing at the moment, I think I'm going to just keep the tea or coffee stain papers plain and decorate these ones. I think just the digital papers, because then we can do all the journaling on those. That's the one we did yesterday. Haven't done a huge amount in here, but I did sew around the digital papers that I put in, and I've inked the edges on them, so that looks really good. So I'm just going to show you how simple it is to do this middle bit. Pop that to the side. Now I'm going to use a piece of coffee stain paper. Now you can use digital paper, you can use whatever you've got. It's the same size as copy paper and as the tool journal. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to fold it long ways first, fold it down in the middle, open it up, then I'm going to fold it up. Now depending on how big you want it, you can have it right up or you can have it longer, depends on how big the pockets you want. I'm just going to fold that up and leave let's just measure that. Can I measure that for you? It's 6 centimeters, or roughly about 2.5 inches up there. Fold that down, and then we're just going to, let's just bend that, and I'm going to ink this bit just so we know where the middle is. It's a little bit easier to see then. Look at that. So we've got that nice line down the middle, and all I'm going to do is fold these down, not quite into the middle. I'm just going to leave a little bit at the top, just like that, and the same this side. Now you can either leave these out. If you're going to use digital papers and you've got a nice pattern on there, leave them outside, but I'm just going to tuck them in the other way like that. So we've got a nice neat finish on the front like that. And then I'm just going to sort of ink that up. So the nice thing about coffee or tea stain paper, you can just ink the edges, and it really transforms it, doesn't it? Makes it nice and grungy like that. So let's just do this little bottom bit. Now, whoopsie daisy, fling it everywhere. Now that's it. That's about as far as we're going to go. And that is, which I love. Now on this one, I have sewn this one here. The top of this, I've gone just from this bit. I haven't sewn this bit up. I just sewed that bit before I folded it in half, before I stuck it down. And I also sewed these little bits on as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to quickly ink this. Now on this one, because it's a little bit longer, I might actually just fold that over. Just like that. Just to give that a little edge, because it's a little bit higher, isn't it? Perfect. So let's just ink along the top. So I'm going to show you a couple of things actually, just with some tea stain paper today. Some basics that just nice to go into your journal. Really simple. Like that. Now we can either stick that down or leave it like that. It's entirely up to you. I haven't sewn along the top of this because I'm putting paper clips on the top. And sometimes when you put a paper clip on and you've got the sewing, it catches in the thread unless you've got a hidden paper clip. So I haven't sewn along there because I just wanted to just tuck these little bits of random ephemera in there, which I think look really nice, because then you can just journal on the back instead of actually sticking something on there. I think you can sort of like fill your journal up with little bits like this that you can sort of like move about, and I think it looks really good. So let's pop that on there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a little collagey bit on here. Now I've got my big pile of all sorts of bits and pieces on here. Oh, I might do a little closure as well. I've got an idea for a closure, so I might do a closure as well. Let's just, oh, shall we have a butterfly, and then we can have the little ladybird on the other side. Now I did have some music paper somewhere, which we could collage on the back as well. Let's just have a look. I've got a piece. Here we go. This will do. Let's just take a little bit of this on here. Look. So we just ink it just a tiny bit. Little bit of glue. Pop that on there. I need to fill this up really. Let's just stick that on there. Should we have the butterfly this side? Now this doesn't actually have to go into the middle. Now I'm just gluing, like I said yesterday, just glue in the middle of it, because we're going to sew it around it, and if the glue's a little bit wet, it's not going to get stuck in your needle. That's good. We don't want to get a sticky needle, do we? So if I put that like that. Now this can be used in your journal. It can be used like this, like a little floating sort of like pocket into your journal. You could just actually clip the whole thing in and open it up. You can use it as Happy Mouse. So it doesn't have to go in the middle of your journal. You can use it however you like. It's just quite a nice one, and you can make it any size as well. You don't have to have it this big. You could have a smaller one, which we could do in a minute as well, couldn't we? There we go. That's it. How simple is that? Now what I'm going to do, now again, don't have to sew. If you don't have a sewing machine, it doesn't matter. Just make sure you stick these bits down, and then just pop a little bit of glue along there and stick that down as well. But what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go to my sewing machine and I'm going to sew. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to sew along here, along this little bit and down here. Okay, and then I will be back, so 2 seconds. Okay, so there we go, and I also sewed around our little butterfly and ladybug there as well, so you can see on the back like that. So this, by sewing those on, it's held those little flaps down as well. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pop that up like that. So that is our little pocket. I'm going to take this little bit of glue and just pop a few little dots down here, and then just down on there, just to hold that closed. This will stay closed anyway because, oh, we don't want that thread in there, because you will have, it will be held down by sewing it into your journal anyway. So let's just stick those down. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to get the sewing machine and just sew down this little bit and hit this little bit. Now it's optional to sew, but if you have a sewing machine and you do sew, you'll know how addictive it is to sew paper. So I'm just going to quickly just do that little bit either side. Okay, so there we go. That was quick and easy, just 2 little bits either side. Let's cut these bits off. So lovely. Now I'm going to just glue this little bit down, I think. Let's just pop a little bit just down there, hold that in place like that. Where's my, there we go, perfect. Super simple is that, really is, isn't it? Now instead of sticking things on the back, which obviously you can, I just think it looks nice if you take a paper clip. Now I need to get some more. Oh, I've got some tiny ones in here which are quite nice, but I'm really low on paper clips at the moment. And get a little bundle of whatever you've got, little journal cards and things like that. That looks nice on there as well. We don't want it on the bird. Let's just ink around. Lots of different sort of like shapes and sizes, and you can have words as well. I don't really want to cover the little bird's face, do we? Let's just have these flowery ones. So that can just pop on there. That's got a little white line around it. We don't want that. That sits on there like that with a little paper clip. Now that is just super simple. That means that these can be journaled on the back. You can write little messages on there. You can move them around your journal. And I just think it looks really nice and so simple, isn't it? So now I have 2. So what I can do as well, I can just take one and pop that in there like that. So we have another one on that side, or you can have it this way around. Doesn't have to be that way, does it? You can have it this way. And then you've got these lovely little tags and tabs and things on there like that. So super simple. Like I said, things don't have to be complicated to go into your journals. Now the other thing I was going to show you how to do, wherever it is this one. Now again, another, just a paper clip. Let's move these bits out of the way. And this is like a letter. Now I have just folded up a A4 sheet of tea stain paper, and I have popped a little bit of embellishment on the top. I've got a little bowl pin with some little bits of lace and fabric on there, and how simple is that? And that is just tucked up inside. And these little bits are like little extra bits that are just nice to pop in there if you've got like a little space that you need to put something on. Now I might do something on there. What's that one? Okay, so we've got that one which we did yesterday. Should we do something that we can just pop on here? Let's do a smaller one. Let's pop that to the side. Let's get some tea stain paper again. And I'm going to just use half a piece. Let's just tear this in half like this. And then we could just have something to clip onto that one. Now this one I'm just going to fold it into 3 like that. Super simple. A little bit of ink. Let's just go around the outside just to make it sort of like look scruffy and grungy and old. Now again, to make things look old, let me just ink this top bit. Wherever you folded it, if you get your pair of scissors or a little distress tool, just go along here like that, and you can even sort of like make little holes in it as well, and it distresses it so it looks old. Whoops, these scissors are a little bit too big to do this. Just around the edges. You see, it just takes a little bit of the paper off, so you can see when you ink it up a little bit more, it just looks nice and distressed. Let's do this side. Let me open it up and show you. Can you see? You can see all these grungy bits in here where you've distressed it. Love it, absolutely love it. So amazing. Like I said yesterday in the video, it's amazing what you can do with paper and ink. Just a little bit of distressed ink can make a big difference to some paper. So if you sort of like have just started off crafting, journaling, one of the best things you can get is this one, and it's the vintage photo and a little distressing tool, and you can just distress and ink up plain paper. You don't have to have tea stain paper. You can use just white copy paper and distress that as well, and it makes such a big difference, and I just think it looks lovely. So I'm going to have it. Shall we just ink this a little bit more? And what I'm going to do, I'm going to pop something. Let's open this up. Just pop something along the top. Now, what have we got? Now I've got these, which I put on the other one. Let's have a look. Let's have a look what we got. I could even take, where's that other piece that I was going to use? Gosh, look at all the stuff I've got. Actually, I'm going to use the bird. Should we pop the bird on there? That looks nice, doesn't it? Should we have a little bit of this on there? Just pop some little grungy bits. Actually, I might use a little bit of lace on there as well. This is lovely. Now, I've got two sides. I think I might have the shiny side. Okay. This is going to go. Oh, I think I've got a little bird's nest on my top of my balcony out there, because they're out there every day. I think they might have nested on there. I must take a look. I don't really go out there very much. I try and keep the sort of like door closed at the moment because it's so hot. I'm going to just bring that down a little bit. So I must have a look. I don't know whether you can hear them, little ones chirping away out there. Let's stick that down. Just using a little bit of glue gun. Just on here. Pop that like that. Let's just squash that up. Mind his little beak. Look at that. Absolutely perfect. Now this can just pop on there. You will get another little paper clip. I need to get some little sort of rusty looking ones, I think. And then that's it. Look at that. See what a big difference that makes. Oh, I've got glue stick everywhere. I think that just looks great, doesn't it? And then you've got this lovely extra piece of journaling. Doesn't take up much room because it's pretty flat. And it makes a big difference to your journal, which I love. Now, what I would like to do, now this is getting quite chunky already, I want to make a closure. Now, I like the front. I don't think I want to add much more. I did pop that lovely trim down there, or the seam binding. I think that looks lovely. So I'm going to, I want to put something, maybe I'll put something. It's not really big enough, is it? I suppose I could use a tag. Actually, that yellow would go with the yellow, wouldn't it? What should we do? Tag that. What would that look like on there? Oh, I might just, how big is this? Let me just take this cover off. So this is a way of making a little closure. Now I'm going to use the tag, but I want to use a little bit of this to make it look just underneath. Let's just cut this off like this. So this is a nice simple taggy thing. Now I quite like that scrunchy actually, like that. I think I might put, I think I'll go, should we go for the lighter or the darker, or should we go for a little bit, decisions. Oh, I quite like this one. This one is nice, isn't it? Let's take that off, we don't need that. Let's take a little bit of this. I'm going to take a section of this, just chop that off. Now I want this to be quite scruffy, so let's just wrinkle this up a little bit. Take that off. I'm going to put this down, and I'm going to put this over the top, and then I'm going to put that over the top of that. Now I think this might be a little bit too, maybe I should cut it. Should have cut it when I'm going to stick this to here. I'm actually going to stick this on here first, so I can cut, so I can no, I can't do that, because what I want to do, sorry, this isn't this was just a spare of the moment thing I think that I was going to do, so I thought I'd just show you this quickly. That's what I want to do, like that. But what I would like to do is pop something through there to tie it. Now I think I'm going to go for the lovely yellow on here, and that will sort of like tie it all in together. Now I should have wrapped that back round, shouldn't I really? Don't know what I did with my little pin. Let's just measure. Now I've got all sorts of bits and pieces everywhere now. Let's see how big we need to make this. Probably have to add in an extra bit. So if I take like this much, there we go, that will do. The middle of this we want to be in the middle of this, like that. So I'm going to stick that on. Before we start, this can just go along like that. Make sure we've got roughly in the middle. Stick that down. Now I can stick this on to here. This can stick on here. Then I can trim around it then, can't I? Perfect. Now I'm not going to go on the outside because I am going to sew around this. So let's just do that. Stick that on there. I know it looks a little bit scruffy at the moment, but it's going to look nice. And that can go on there. our lovely eclectic journal, isn't it? I'm going to just cut a little bit of this off. And a little bit of this. We don't need it. Don't need it that big. Let's just scrunch this up. I'm going to have that bit at the front. So that's the front. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Let's just scrunch this up. It's a bit too straight. There we go. Love it. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the sewing machine and I'm actually going to sew this tag to this, to all of that. And then we can trim it up and do things afterwards. Excuse me, I've got a very sore throat again today. Okay guys, so 2 seconds. I'm just going to sew around the tag. Okay, so there we go. Love that. Absolutely love that. Now I think it's still quite long. We don't need all of this, do we? Let's just chop a little bit more of this off. Nice and scruffy. Let's cut a little bit of this off. Can use all of these other little bits. Pop those to the side. Love it. Okay, let's see what it looks like, shall we? So take our journal, pop that around. Oh, love it. And then we can just use this. Now we could actually sew that into the, I like the inside, into the journal, couldn't we, into the signature, so it stays on, which might be an idea. And then this will just tie into a little bow, which goes perfect. Oh, I love that. Actually, I think I might sew that into the signature, because that looks really good, doesn't it? Nice and eclectic, this one, isn't it? Fabulous. Now I mustn't forget to sew this in. I might actually put something else. We shall see. Now that's the closure. So that was a simple one, but today we have, look, this one I haven't even put anything on. I've just folded this up, added some little bits and pieces like that, and then tucked it up into there. So that's even simpler. So please don't think by making a journal it's really complicated, because it's not. This here, look, little cluster of journal cards and bits of ephemera on there. Look at that, just popped it in a little pile or in a little stack and popped on a paper clip. Now actually what we could do, I'm quite liking just plain paper clips at the moment, but if we lift it out we could actually pop a little bit of this, couldn't we? Let's scrunch this up. Let's make a simple paper clip. Let's just scrunch that up, pop that through there like that, just through the end. Gosh, if I can tie it in a little knot, and then we've got a nice simple paper clip. Now what I normally do with these, so let me just show you, let me just take it off, will probably be a little bit easier. I'm going to pop a little bit of glue just on there and then lift it up, so then that stays in place. And also just on that little knot, just going to pop a little bit of glue, and then I'm going to pop it up. Just hold them together like that, just so they stay in the same direction, just like that, but don't get as much glue on everything as I've just got. Simple, very simple. Now again, you can have it from the side or the top. Which way did I have it? I had it from the side, didn't I? Look at that. So really easy, really easy. So as well, if you've only got a few little bits of crafty bits, look at that, just looks lovely, doesn't it? So super simple day today. What else can we do? We've got the insert, so now I've got two. I've got one in the middle and one tucked in between. Oh, this one I also did, which I got a piece of paper, I backed it with some coffee stain paper, and I sewed around the edge nice and wrinkly. Look at that. And then I've just stuck this little bit down and folded it over, and then I've got another one of those little foldy pieces of paper in there. I've got a little bit of one of journal card as a pocket, and then I'm just liking just sticking these on like that. And then that, oh, you could probably just do it like that, couldn't you? Look at that. Love it, absolutely love it. Super simple. That one I'm loving. So anything else we could do? That one I love these little dingly danglies. Well, maybe I'll make a couple of those. Where can I put those? We could put, actually what I might do is pop a little bit of this on here, because I'm going to have that up quite high. Just a little bit of this. Should we hang it off there? Let's just get a little bit of glue gun like that. Pop that so it hangs down. Quite nice, just hanging from there. Now, do I have a bulb pin in here? I've got lots of bulb pins. Oh look, that's even got a little bead on it. I don't think I'll have the bead on it because I don't want anything on there. I'm just going to pop a little bit of, oh look, these are all leftovers. Perfect. Oopsie daisy. Gosh. Let's take these bits off. Don't need that bit. Going to take this, fold it in half. Oh my gosh, I got glue stick on me. What should we have? We should have that one. I've got a little bit of this lace here, which I do love. I'm going to just sort of cut it at a little bit of an angle like that. Take my bowl pin and then just clip that on, and then just clip that onto there like that. Perfect. Look at that. Doesn't that look nice? Love it. Super simple. If you don't have ball pins, you can use a little clipping a paper clip onto there, or you could use a what are they called, a little pin, safety pin. Gosh, I couldn't remember what they're called. A little safety pin on there, which are easy to get hold of. So all sorts of ideas there, guys. So super simple. One page, fold it in half, and again, you don't have to sew, you can just glue, and that will go in. I will pop that there so I can see that bit. And then we've done that one there, so that's lovely. We've got those little bits on there, and this is a good way of using up a lot of your stash as well, if you've got lots of sort of like journal cards that you need to use. Because look at these, I want to use, well, I'm not going to use all of these in here, but I'm going to use some. Now, I was going to put something, I was going to do a little collage on here. Shall we do that? Because that's quite simple. I'm going to pop these to the side. I'm going to use a little bit of this. We could use, and we could make some little pockets in there as well, couldn't we? Should we do a little bit of collage? Let's do that. Now I'm going to use glue stick on this because I think it will be easier. Let's just do this because this is very simple and this is very fun to do. So let's just, I'm just going to stick on half of the page like this. Shall we pop that down there? Let's ink around the edge of this like this. So this is just a background we're doing. Now I think I'm going to have to use this glue on there, just to, it's a little bit thicker, this paper. So you need to take into account the thickness of your, oh my gosh, the thickness of your papers and what glues to use. Because tacky glue is good for any sort of paper, but glue stick is best for thinner paper. Tacky glue is sort of like medium paper, and then if you've got anything sort of like heavy, say you want an embellishment or a metal embellishment or something like that, you want to use something like a glue gun, and it really will hold it in place. Or if you do mixed media, then you want some matte medium. You might have some of that if you do mixed media or things like that. So I'm going to pop that on there. Where's this bit? That's okay, because I'm going to make that bit into a little pocket, I think. And we are going to put something over the edge of that, just so we know it's a pocket. Oh look, that's a piece that's already been sort of like, that's the end of the seam binding, not seam binding, the cheesecloth. So that will do. Cut it all off. Nice and scruffy. I'm going to use 3-in-1, and 3-in-1 glue is good for fabric because it sticks really well. It's the same as fabric tack, so it sort of like gives it away, doesn't it? The uses for it. I'm going to put that up there, chop that off a little bit along here, because I will, should I sew it? I think I will sew it. How are we doing for time? Oh, we're good for time. Look at that. So that can go on there. Might have to cut that little bit off. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to bend this, because this is the middle of the journal, and I'm just going to ink it just so I don't go across that edge. There we go, just so I know where I am aiming for. So I will sew that, so that can go on there like a little pocket. Love that. I might actually just, should we have a little bit more of a collage? Let's stick this on there. Just gives some nice interest, doesn't it, to our page, to our inside page or inside cover. And also because it's just paper, I haven't lined it with anything, it will reinforce it just a little bit. So what else have we got? Should we pop this? That's pretty, isn't it? Now shall we put something, what else can we use? Should we put that there and that there? I like this one. I do like this, but I like this as a little sort of side pocket, because if that one goes down, that could go there, so we've got another pocket there, and then maybe we'll have this one. Should we do that? Let's pop some more. Here we go. Let's pop a little bit more of this on here, just so it gives us a background, little collagey background. So all of these are just simple little projects for you. So I won't stick that down yet because I need to sew it. There's a glue gun on there. That's gone onto my glue gun. Is that going to be enough to go on there? Yes, I could cut that little bit off, can't I? just there. Okay, because that glue gun's not going to come off, that glue I mean, and that little bit should go on there. Perfect. Pop this down along here. Oops. Stick that on. You can embellish over the, oh, is that glue on there? You can pop a few more little embellishments over the top of this as well when we're done. Just so they're not all the same. And we will sew on that one. And then the last little bit of this can go on here. Let's move that over. Lovely, lovely, lovely. That's my lid. Okay, so I'm going to go and sew. I'm going to sew all the way around these. All the way around all three of those, so I'll be 2 seconds. Okay, so there we go. I have just sewn all the way around the outside of each one of those, so that's really quite a simple little thing to do. I'm going to stick them on like this, I think, just so that one sort of like overlaps on there, and that can overlap on there. So now I was going to do the pocket this way, wasn't I? And I've just sewn that along that top bit. That was a bit silly, so I'm going to have to use that for something else. What a silly Billy. Never mind. Never mind. That doesn't matter. I'm going to stick this on first. I'm going to stick with a little bit of Fabri-Tac, not Fabri-Tac, 3-in-1 on here, because we've got a little bit of fabric on there. Like this, down along there. Let's just stick that down. There we go. Quite like that, just overlapping a little bit. And then I'm going to have another one. What have we got in our little, or our big pile here? That's pretty, isn't it? Maybe we should go this way. Maybe I won't put anything. Maybe I'll put, don't know, I don't know. Maybe I will have a little fabric pocket or something on there. I'm just going to stick this down before I change my mind. I think I'm overthinking it now. Don't need to overthink. Let's just pop that down. A little bit of glue on there. Pop that there. Lovely. Okay, so if I pop this in there like that, so when you open up, that's lovely, isn't it? So I won't put anything in it because we need to make sure that's stuck. So that looks great, love it. It's just this little bit here that I need to put something on, but I'm not sure. Let me just pop the lid on there. I think maybe I might even do, out of the same fabric as I did this, just a little fabric pocket at the bottom to pop something in. What do you think? That would look quite nice, wouldn't it? I'm going to cut this down like that. It doesn't have to be fancy pantsy. You can put that. That could be right, that could be. Let's just put it like that. I'm going to scrunch this up so it's nice and scrunched. I'm going to take this off because that's a little bit in the way. Then which is the longest way? Maybe we'll go this way. Going to turn that down, and we're going to add a little bit of something over here. What have we got? A few more little extra bits I think it needs. Just a few sort of scruffy bits on there. Now, if you don't have any sort of like bits of fabric or something, have a rummage through your wardrobe. I'm sure you've all got stuff that you used to wear, doesn't fit you anymore, looks lovely, nice fabric, which I'm sure you can incorporate into your journals. Even if you've got an old t-shirt, your husband, your partner's t-shirt or something like that, you can always have something, I am sure, in your wardrobe or in your drawer that you can use. Now I'm going to sew that along the top. I'm going to sew a little bit this behind just to reinforce it like that. I don't mind if it pops over the top. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to sew that, and I'm going to sew around the edges like that, and then we can just stick that down, and I think that will look really, really lovely. So 2 seconds, let me just go and sew this together. Okay, so that wasn't the easiest thing to sew. It was a bit wrinkly there. It's all sort of wrinkled up, but love it. I think that will still work as a beautiful little pocket. So I'm going to use, what shall I use? I think I might use a bit of glue gun on here. Let's just pop a little bit there. Let's stick that down there like that. Turn this around. Stick that down. There we go. I've been using my glue gun a lot more as well on doing things because it's a very quick way of sticking things down. So if you do have a glue gun, give it a go, especially if you're going to be using fabrics on things as well. There we go. Fabulous. Look at that. Oh, actually I could use that in there, couldn't I? As a little tag. No, I won't. I'm going to put something else in there. I like that. Love that. So how simple are these things that I'm doing? Really, really easy. Love it. Love it. Where did that come from? Love it. Love, love, love. So postcard. Should we pop a little postcard in there? Now I do like this one, so I'm going to pop that in there as well. Now I need to go around the edges of this. Just ink the edge. Just like that. So there we go, guys. So some nice, fun and simple things like that. So making a pocket, just take one of your journal cards and add a little bit of fabric or something. You can even wrap another piece of paper around there, just along the top. Now if you don't sew, glue it on, and then you can glue these around, because I just glued them around anyway. So that's really simple, and I think that looks really, really lovely on there. We've got the folded paper, so that's a very, very simple one. Little cluster of journal cards, little bits of ephemera, a nice little paper clip on there. Just remember, going back to the basics, just tie a little bit of fabric or a little bit of seam binding or ribbon onto the end of your paper clip. What else have we got? Have we done? And remember, bows are a lovely thing to add embellishments. This one is what we've just done, isn't it, which is our lovely little pocket. So no fussy, just a little bit of folding and a little bit of collage on there. Super simple. And this one which we did earlier, oh no, that's the one I did, wasn't it? Little cluster. So that's going to go in the middle of the journal. Again, look at these, just fabulous. I think these are so simple to do, and I think that looks really, really good as well. Don't forget, little embellishment with a little bow pin on there, just a little bit of scrap fabric. and the folded paper, which is perfect. Loving it. So there we go, guys. That's what we've got so far. I'm going to do a few more bits and pieces in here. Not sure whether I'm going to do, I might actually do the back, because I'm loving that. I absolutely love that. I think that looks really, really good. I might actually do some more on these pages, because it looks really good, doesn't it? I like that sort of like eclectic-y sort of like look to it. So I might do that on some of these pages. Now I need to remember to do the back pages. So I will figure out. I want to finish this off tomorrow. Oh yes, and we also did our closure, didn't we? Love this. So I might add something to that. I might see if I've got a little bit of blingy something that I can put on here. So that would look nice. So that's going to be on there. We will sew that into our signature so it stays in place. Loving this yellow. So there we go, guys. That's what we've been doing today. A few little bits and pieces. Very, very simple. And I think they look really, really effective as well. So which is the one we did today? This one. So please do give it a go. Super, super simple. Thank you so much for joining me. Please stay safe, take care, and I will see you soon. All right, guys. Bye-bye.